Have you ever thought that if you just tried hard enough to conform, to give, to play that perfect, always pleasing role, you would be loved, accepted, and surrounded by warm relationships, thereby completely escaping the shadow of loneliness? Have you deeply believed that by carefully avoiding any words or actions that might cause discomfort, by prioritizing others' needs over your own, you could weave an impenetrable web of harmony, securely anchoring yourself at the center of all relationships, never to fall behind? Imagine yourself as a perpetually operating energy station, constantly transmitting understanding, support, approval, and smiles outwards. Every response you give is meticulously crafted, designed to smooth every frown and fulfill every expectation. You've become accustomed to seeking your value in everyone's eyes, drawing sustenance from every "thank you" and "you're so good." You go to great lengths to avoid conflict, escape sharpness, and even suppress your most authentic desires and feelings, all to maintain that seemingly peaceful and harmonious facade. Does this effort leave you with a bone-deep fatigue, a profound emptiness of being in a crowd yet understood by no one? Do you, after the crowds you painstakingly pleased disperse, feel an unprecedented, even ineffable coldness and loneliness? Why does this seemingly contradictory phenomenon so cruelly befall you? You poured all your efforts into connecting, into belonging, only to find yourself consumed by a deeper, more hopeless sense of loneliness. This loneliness is not physical solitude, but a profound internal, soul-level isolation. Do you realize that your efforts to satisfy everyone have precisely pushed you onto an island no one can truly reach? This paradox is no accident, but an inevitable consequence of your subconscious primal fear of abandonment and the suppression of your authentic self. You are like an actor constantly changing masks, trying to play the most beloved role in every scene, but ultimately losing your true face. This internal struggle, this continuous betrayal of your self's core, is the root of your loneliness. Nietzsche would mercilessly reveal, this attempt to please everyone is merely a manifestation of slave morality, a castration of your own will to power, which will ultimately only push you into the abyss. Why do we fall into the mire of pleasing everyone? This is not simply kindness, but is rooted in deep human psychology and complex early socialization mechanisms. Firstly, the most core reason is the primal fear of rejection and abandonment. From infancy, our survival depends on the care and acceptance of others. In an evolutionary sense, being abandoned by parents means death. This deeply ingrained fear evolves in adulthood into intense anxiety about being disliked, disapproved of, or excluded by others. You fear that once you express your true thoughts, once you set personal boundaries, you will lose others' love, friendship, or support. This fear drives you to continuously suppress yourself, to conform to others' expectations, becoming the ideal you in their eyes. Secondly, there are unhealthy attachment patterns and low self-esteem. If you failed to form secure attachments during your upbringing or suffered prolonged criticism and neglect, you might develop a cognitive bias that your value must be obtained through others' validation. Your inner voice is not strong enough to be the sole judge of your self-worth, so you hand over this power to the external world. You are like a soul constantly begging for approval, filling an inner void by satisfying others' needs. This behavior is essentially a drain of external energy, an endless performance to prove that you are worthy of love. Yourself, like a sponge, continuously absorbs others' emotions and needs, but never wrings out space for itself. A deeper reason is society's overemphasis on harmony and the demonization of conflict. We are taught that harmony is precious, to consider the bigger picture, and to avoid being a troublemaker or individualistic. This collectivist value, to some extent, stifles healthy individual expression. You are indoctrinated that a good person is someone who doesn't cause trouble, who always sides with the majority. This notion makes you instinctively retreat when faced with differing opinions, making you see genuine friction as a monster, thereby further reinforcing your people-pleasing behavior. You equate authenticity with danger and false harmony with safety, ultimately losing the courage to express your truth and the opportunity to build connections in truth. You thought you were seeking belonging, but in fact, you were forging a gilded cage for yourself, imprisoning your truest soul. This betrayal of your own uniqueness is the first step towards loneliness. This attempt to please everyone will, in an extremely subtle and profound way, push you towards true loneliness. Firstly, it leads to the superficiality of relationships and emotional emptiness. When you constantly play the role others expect, the people around you never truly know you. They only know the mask you tailor-made for them. Your connection with others is based on the services and conformity you provide, rather than your true soul and personality. Such relationships are like reflections in water, appearing lively, but lacking depth and authenticity. You cannot engage in deep, meaningful conversations because you fear any words that might expose your true thoughts or break the illusion of harmony. The result is that while there might be many voices around you, your inner world remains barren, understood by no one, and untouched by anyone. Secondly, it brings about inner resentment and self-depletion. Suppressing true feelings and needs for too long accumulates like toxins within you. You might feel resentment toward those you please and disgust toward your own powerlessness and compromise. This inner conflict continuously drains your mental energy, leaving you exhausted and depressed. You might find yourself growing increasingly cynical because you've given so much, yet feel you've never been truly seen or cherished. Your giving transforms into sacrifice, and this sacrifice, instead of bringing true love and belonging, leaves you increasingly depleted. This chronic exhaustion makes you feel weary even in a crowd, longing to escape, yet with nowhere to go. The deepest impact is that it causes you to lose self-identity and a sense of existence. When all your actions revolve around others' needs and expectations, you gradually lose a clear understanding of your own values, desires, and beliefs. Your boundaries become blurred, and you start to confuse your true feelings with performances influenced by others. You become an empty shell without a core, a constantly changing reflection. This self-loss is the most terrifying form of loneliness. You are disconnected from yourself. Jung's analytical psychology posits that individuation is life's most important task, becoming your true self. Pleasing others, conversely, is the most fatal obstacle on this path. You thought you could avoid loneliness by integrating into the group, but in reality, you completely lost yourself within the group, thereby experiencing the deepest, inescapable loneliness. You live an unlived life, a prisoner shaped by others' wills.
So how can you break free from this suffocating pleasing trap? Truly connect with yourself and build meaningful, profound connections, thereby escaping the soul-devouring loneliness. This requires a profound inner awakening and revaluation of values. First, dare to have the courage to be disliked. This is not about becoming eccentric or rude, but about understanding that true love and respect are built on authenticity, not on pleasing. You cannot please everyone. This is a fundamental human fact. When you accept this, you gain immense freedom. You no longer need to perform for others' applause. Your actions will be driven by your inner beliefs and values. Try starting small, in less important situations. Express your true thoughts or decline things you don't want to do. You will find that those who genuinely love and respect you will not leave you because of this, and those who only stay because of your compliance, their departure is actually a purification of your energy field. Secondly, re-establish connection with your own feelings and clearly set your boundaries. Spend time alone, listen to your inner voice, and identify your true needs, desires, and dislikes. Journaling, meditation, or speaking with a trusted therapist are all effective ways. When you clearly know who you are, what you want, and what you cannot accept, you can express it firmly. Boundaries are not meant to push people away, but to protect your inner space, ensuring your relationships are healthy and mutually respectful. A clear no is far more indicative of your sincerity and strength than a reluctant yes. Thirdly, embrace moderate conflict, viewing it as an opportunity for deepening relationships. Healthy conflict is the inevitable result of the collision of ideas between different individuals and a catalyst for relationships to move towards deeper understanding. When you dare to express differing opinions with respect and reason and dare to face potential discomfort, you are laying the foundation for true intimacy. Those who can navigate conflict and still choose to walk with you afterward are the truly valuable connections in your life. Such connections are built on truth and vulnerability, possessing greater resilience. As Jung said, only when one truly becomes oneself can one establish genuine relationships with others. The ultimate insight is not whether you can completely eliminate feelings of loneliness, because some degree of loneliness is an inevitable part of human existence. The true insight is that you must understand that your deepest loneliness does not come from a lack of external circumstances, but from the suppression and betrayal of your own truth. Appear, stool, dash, pale. When you stop seeking everyone's approval, when you bravely peel away the layers of disguise worn to conform to others, when you resolutely choose to become your truest self, even if it means you may no longer please everyone and perhaps lose some relationships, you will discover that true connection and belonging are born precisely from this courage and authenticity. Imagine you are no longer driftwood, floating on the sea, tossed by the tides, but like a sturdy mountain, deeply rooted in the earth. Your contours are clearly visible, your existence unwavering. Some clouds will bypass you, some winds will blow towards you, but your core remains unmoved. Those attracted by your authenticity will gather like trickling streams into your valley, forming clear lakes. Those who cannot accept your truth will naturally move away. This aloneness is not the loneliness you once feared, but a profound, harmonious solitude of being at peace with yourself. This serenity nurtures immense strength and creativity. You no longer need to draw energy from the outside world to define yourself, because your source of energy lies within you. Your life will therefore become full and meaningful, and you will learn to build the deepest, most enduring connection with yourself.
And this connection with the self is the only way to combat all loneliness and ultimately achieve true freedom and happiness. Go forth and live your uncompromising truth. Become that unique soul that belongs only to you.